And it is 10 p.m. You're tuned to listener-sponsored, non-commercial WBAI in New York, 99.5 on the FM dial and streaming at WBAI.org. Time now for Folk Radio. Your host this evening, Steve Rathe.
Miss Lucy had a baby, she called him Tiny Tim. She put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim. He drank up all the water, he ate up all the soap. He tried to eat the bathtub, it got stuck inside his throat. She called for the doctor, she called for the nurse, she called for the lady with the alligator purse. What's wrong with my baby? What's wrong with Tiny Tim? He drank the water, ate the soap, what's gotten into him? Mumps, said the doctor. Measles, said the nurse. Nothing, said the lady with the alligator purse. What shall I do? Asked Lucy, for what you diagnose. Tell me your prescription and I'll give Tim a dose. Pills, said the doctor. Tonic, said the nurse. The bathtub, said the lady with the alligator purse. Don't you know that pills and tonic will only make him worse? Take the tub with chocolate syrup, I've got some in my purse. You'd better pour it on right now before your baby chokes. So the baby ate the chocolate-covered bathtub. That's all, folks. I smell blossoms and the trees are bare. All day long I seem to walk on air. I wonder why. I wonder why. I keep tossing in my sleep at night. And what's more, I've lost my appetite. Stars that used to twinkle in the skies are twinkling in my eyes. I wonder why.
Now, Fiona, I can tell you, you don't need analyzing. It is not so surprising that you feel very strange but nice. Your heart goes pitter-patter. I know just what's the matter, because I've been there once or twice. Put your head on my shoulder. You need someone who's much older, or rub down with a velvet glove. There is nothing you can take to relieve that pleasant ache. Fiona, you're not sick, you're just in love. You feel very strange but nice. Your heart goes pitter-patter. I know just what's the matter, because I've been there once or twice. Put your head on my shoulder. You need someone who's older, or rub down with a velvet glove. There is nothing you can take to relieve that pleasant ache. You're not sick, you're just in love. There is nothing you can take to relieve that pleasant ache. You're not sick, you're just in love.
Oh, yeah. Jim Kweskin and his granddaughter, right? Fiona?
That's right. That's his granddaughter.
All right. And before that, let's see. Well, we heard some more music from StorySound Records, just a little selection of what we're going to be hearing tonight, starting with Uncle Bunting and then the Lady with the Alligator Purse, which is called on this album "Lady to the Rescue."
That's right. That's right.
I remember that from my school days.
Yeah. Well, I was so many of my songs were sort of sad and dark that I thought I got to find some fun here. So I went after a skip rope rhyme and see if we have a little fun with it. Threw in the Looney Tunes sign off also at the end.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to hear a lot of this. My guest is Dick Connette, who is a music producer, composer, arranger, and the curator for StorySound Records, which by now has how many albums out?
I've so many I've lost track. Got to be like 30 or so, and singles that we released, digital only releases. I wasn't ready to answer that question, but dozens. We're talking
dozens of albums. But he was born in New York, went to Chicago, came back to go to school in Boston, where he thought he was going to be a math major. And then what happened?
Well, it turned out I wasn't so good in math compared to my classmates, so I thought I could work really hard and maybe teach college math, but who wants to do that? So I thought, well, maybe I'll do music. I can, maybe I'm not a great mathematician, but I could write music and no one could tell me, if it's new and it's something different, then I'm doing okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, what kind of music did you study at first?
When I was in third grade, I played piano, and that was Up They Marched the Hill and Down They Marched Again, and Three Blind Mice. I had enough of that after a year. Then,
but after you studied music in
you mean
college,
you're talking about college?
In college, right.
We want to throw in, though, that I saw the Beatles and formed rock bands when I was seventh grade and did that all the way through senior year. And then I went to college. When I decided to turn to music, I was studying classical music, studying harmony, theory, counterpoint, history for 4 years at college, and also studied privately composition and piano.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then
moved to New York.
And you thought you were gonna be part of the contemporary music composing?
Well, I was two things. I was composing already when I was in college, but I was also interested in percussion. And when I came to New York, I studied with Jim Price, who was the main percussion for the Steve Rathe ensemble, and I studied marimba and snare drum and timpani, and did that for about 4 or 5 years. But then I moved to Soho, in a basement where I could make a lot of noise, and found myself in the middle of a whole lot of arts activities, and got more and more interested in writing my own music. And
this was 1974?
1974. No, actually, I moved to Soho in 76.
Okay. And what else was going on at that point?
In 76?
Yeah, 76.
Well, I moved to Soho, and I would just go out to shows, and I would meet people. If I saw something I liked, I would go up to somebody and say, hey, I really like what you're doing. If it was a choreographer, sometimes I'd wind up writing music for a choreographer, or a filmmaker, I'd write music for a film, or for another musician, I'd play music with them. It was just all around the block, and the scene was such that everything was happening below 14th Street between the East Village and Soho and Tribeca and the West Village. And, you'd run into people at restaurants, at parties, at clubs, at performances, and just a lively scene and just a lot of opportunities for performing, writing, trying out new things.
So, and what was the first recording you made?
First recording I made, the first recording I made was back in college. My first commission was for a dance piece. I got paid $35 for writing a solo piano piece. I know. If we worked it out for dollars per hour I spent writing the piece, well, things have gotten a little better since then. Let's say that.
Well, I was going to say we're going to hear a good deal of the music that you have produced and recorded, and that's part of StorySound Records, including, as you heard before, Jim Kweskin and Last Forever and Too Sad for the Public, which are groups and not merely album titles, and a lot of Sonia Cohn-Kramer, Anna Egge, Raina Gellert, Rochelle Garnier, Loudon Wainwright III, Suzy and Lucy Roach, Maggie Roach, what else? Let's see. A little bit of Linda Thompson's music. And just for variety, Daisy Bell's going to bring us some Hildegard von Bingham. So it's going to be a big night here on Folk Radio. And stick around with us, and we'll hear a little bit more of Last Forever.
Don't talk about it. If you do, I will cry. If you do, I will. If you do, ask me no questions, and I'll tell you no lies. You know lies, they're too good to be true. Please don't talk about it. If you do, I will cry. If you do, I will. If you do, count up to 100 and I open my eyes. If I turn myself around, what will I find? So wide, so deep, so dark inside, I fell asleep. I dreamed my soul was mine to keep. Please don't talk about it. If you do, I will cry. If you do, I will. If you do, wonder when I close my eyes the very last time. Will I rise and shine? Will I rise? 5, 10, 15, 20, turn around and close your eyes. Your whole life can turn around on what is lost and never found. Please don't talk about it. If you do, I will cry. If you do, I will. If you do. Diamond Joe, come and get me. Diamond
here with reluctant feet near where the brook and river meet? Who reaps the wheat with sickle keen and cuts the flowers in between? It's the same old man working at the mill. The wheel goes round of its own free will, with a hand in the hopper and the other in the sack. The ladies step forward and the gents fall back. The fiddler at the Shanghai house won't sing until the bottle's out, and the only song he ever plays is oysters, ice cream, lemonade. The men go out to bucket shops, get drunk and fight. It never stops. They stumble home where, like as not, there's arsenic in a coffee pot. Dr. White has put down roots with his Gold Cure Institute. It costs exactly what you make to take the cure that doesn't take. It's the same old man working at the mill. The wheel goes round of its own free will, with a hand in the hopper and the other in the sack. The ladies step forward and the gents fall back. Miss Sweeney took herself to task to cure her craze for breaking glass. She's since exhausted her reserves and takes cocaine to calm her nerves. A.J. Dayton's got a scheme to build a miracle machine. He's filed plans and patent claims. Most folks round here think he's insane. A Ph.D. has lately come with this sanitarium. Magnetic healing, if you please, would raise the dead if they believe. The reason why I fly by night is 'cause I've lost my heart's delight. The one I love, the one I choose is all forsworn, my yes I do. It's the same old man working at the mill. The wheel goes round of his own free will, with a hand in the hopper and the other in the sack. The ladies step forward and the gents fall back. The deaf girl had a little shack just across the railroad track. She never saw the narrow gauge, and that took care of her old age. Alexander Gardapi went to his local drinkery. He ordered gin with soda side, asked for the time, sat down and died. The funeral home just opened shop. They've even started selling stock. It's riding high on market trends and paying monthly dividends. Lost my partner, what'll I do wanted spinster twins. He loved the one that didn't love him, and so they all just stay good friends, true to each other till the end. The Werner brothers used to swear there's nothing they could not repair, so we all paid our money down. They made a fortune and left town. A hotel room, the break of day, black and white and shades of gray, a shaft of light and dancing dust. My darling, what's to come of us?
All right. Suzy Roach with the vocal on Black River Falls. And before that, Sonia Cohn with Last Forever. And the tracks were Hide and Seek and a sort of a modern version of Diamond Joe, that traditional song. You're listening to Folk Radio on WBAI. My name is Steve Rathe, and my guest is Dick Connette, who is the curator and primary producer and artistic director of StorySound Records. The man who makes the records. He's also actually had an interesting career because he started off, as we said earlier, in mathematics, and then he switched into music and was involved with making more or less symphonic music, modern music.
Well, avant-garde, new music. That's why I saw myself as some kind of modern composer. Yeah.
All right. And what happened when you got to New York?
Well, that's when I was happening in New York until around the mid-'80s, and then things turned around for me, and I started wanting to relate to an audience in a different way and got involved in studying folk music, traditional American music. Mm-hmm. And that was around 85 or 86, and it hasn't changed in all these years. I guess it's now been almost 40 years that I've been working around that kind of music.
Well, you have been working around that kind of music, but at the same time, it's not exclusively in the tradition. Your music has a very modern, contemporary sensibility, and one can hear a lot of other influences in it, as we will demonstrate this evening. But you met up with a bunch of folk music people. How did you meet Sonia Cohn?
Well, what happened was that I can't sing, and so I need a singer, and I was looking for singers and advertising The Voice, couldn't find anyone, and then I thought I'd ask around my friends. Maybe they would know a singer. And a friend of mine had a friend who was married to a woman that taught in a college where John Cohn taught, SUNY Purchase. And so I called up John and I said, here's what I'm looking for. I'm writing this music. It's kind of based in traditional music, but I'm trying to take it somewhere else. And he said, I think my daughter's right for the job. And I was a little suspicious about that, but I said, let me send you a tape, and then you tell me what you think. And I sent him a tape. He said, now I know my daughter's right for the job, and she was. She was right for the job. Her name is Sonia Cohn, later married Reed Kramer, and she's known as Sonia Cohn Kramer. She died when she was 50 some years back, but we worked together for well over a decade, and she, besides being a singer, she was inspiring to me in many ways, and in some ways was my closest friend and largest musical inspiration. And I miss her every day.
So you made 2 or 3 albums with Last Forever.
We made 4 CDs, all told.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 CDs. Starting, the first one came out in 97, the second one came out in 99. And then 2 more I released on my own label. In fact, the label began just so that I could re-release the albums that were first released on Nonesuch. And
how did that happen?
Well, my demo got popped onto the president's desk, Bob Hurwitz, and he's a decisive person, and if he likes something, he just puts it out. And I was fortunate enough that he liked what Last Forever was doing. And so he put out 2 records by us, and it was a lease deal. And when the lease was up, I started my own company just to keep my own music, out there in the public and keep it in print. And that's how the label began.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and but you did more than last forever, because you began to, like a magnet, kind of accumulate other people in the traditional music and singer-songwriter business. Now, you were hiring musicians, obviously, to play on the albums. Although you played a little bit on one of them. I saw piano and harmonium.
I play on all the albums. And I was not sure if I was a magnet, but once my first album came out, I started meeting other people that were in the singer-songwriter or the traditional folk music fields, pretty far removed from the downtown avant-garde crowd that I've been running with, and it's a whole different world. And my album came out, that's how I met Loudon Wainwright, through Loudon, I met Suzy Roach, who was on that third song in that set, Black River Falls. And I met Kate and Anna McGarrigle. And, of course, all these people have children, too. And so you meet Suzy, then you might meet Lucy. And if you meet Kate and Loudon, you might meet Rufus and meet Martha. And the crowd expanded from there.
So you got to work with Loudon sort of closely, actually. You found out what he was a devotee of Charlie Poole.
That's right. Yeah, he. When we first met, we talk about, I like this and I don't like that. And he said, well, I like Charlie Poole.
Now, Charlie Poole was
banjo player from North Carolina and singer. He didn't write songs, but the way he chose songs, he may as well have been the writer in the way that he interpreted them. And there was a lot about Charlie Poole that I think Loudon shared in terms of sensibility. Sort of a wise guy sentimentalist, and if you can combine those two, and Loudon, I mentioned this to Loudon. I said maybe we should do some Charlie Poole, record Charlie Poole songs and maybe write some songs about Charlie Poole. And he said, okay, let's give it a try. And that's how that whole project started, High, Wide, and Handsome, the Charlie Poole project.
So new songs very much in the tradition, and we're going to hear a great example of that from Loudon Wainwright right now.
High, wide, and handsome, that's how I like living. High, wide, and handsome, that's how life should be. Low, skinny, and ugly, that's for other people. High, wide, and handsome suits me to a T. Song, wine, and women, they're my 3 favorites. Beer, gin, and whiskey, that's 5, 6, and 4. Saturday night, I like eating and dancing, and I sleep all day Sunday, so's I'm ready for more. High, wide, and handsome, you can't take it with you. High, wide, and handsome, that's one way to go. Let's live it up, might as well, we're all dying. High, wide, and handsome, let's put on a show. Can't quit what will kill me, so why even bother? I love this hard living, so why even try? I'll be high, wide, and handsome when I kick the bucket. I'll be high, wide, and handsome on the day I die. High, wide, and handsome, you can call it my motto. High, wide, and handsome, call it my creed. Money's just paper, liquor's thicker than water. High, wide, and handsome in thought, word, and deed. Have high, wide, and handsome carved on my headstone with the date I was born, plus the date that I died. Then take one from the other, all that's left as a number. Just remember I laughed twice as hard as I cried. High, wide, and handsome, that's how I like living. High, wide, and handsome, that's how life should be. Low, skinny, and ugly, that's for other people. High, wide, and handsome suits me me to a T.
Lots of those little womanish girls that think themselves to be grand. They will stand on the corner at night, making dates with a married man. And those little mannish boys with the hat sitting on one strand of hair will go marry some woman's nice little girl and ain't got nowhere to carry her. Lots of people in the world, of course you cannot blame them, for God has given them children and they don't know what to train them. Education is alright, but I tell you before you start, before you educate the head, educate the heart.
New music in the folk tradition. Don't You Rock 'Em Daddy-O as the basis for a tune called Uncle Bunting, played by Raina Gellert, composed by Dick Connette. Would you like to tell us a little more about that? And then we'll go back and
yeah, we can
the
go
other works that we heard before
backtrack
that.
a little, but I met Raina Gellert because she was John Cohn's intern, and John said to me, you know, I got a young woman here who's a fiddler, just got out of college. You might want to meet her, and I certainly did. And we've been friends ever since, going on, 25 years or more. And she's a beautiful spirit and a great, great fiddler. And singer and songwriter. And it turned out she loved Uncle Bun Stevens so much that she had a shrine to him in her apartment. And so when I took 6 bars of a Sail Away Lady for Uncle Bunty's 1920s recording and wrote a whole long piece out of those 6 bars, I thought, well, you got to get Raina Gellert to play all the parts. There's 4 fiddles there and 1 viola, and she's also singing on that as well as a couple of other people.
She's playing fiddle and viola on there?
Yeah, 4 fiddles and 1 viola, yeah. Yeah.
And what you really hear that's a modern piece. I mean, you hear those cadenzas, and you think about Philip Glass and maybe the music of Steve Reich as well.
Yeah, they're repeating cells and taking little fragments of music and building a larger structure out of them. But the way that she digs in with her bowing technique is really old-timey, and that's really what I wanted to go for with Raina. She's not playing like a classical violinist. She's just digging in. So that's just great. And she's singing and playing on the second song that we heard, Train Your Child, with her partner, Kieran Kane, who's playing guitar. And that's, I said, there was a poem recited by Washington Phillips, the evangelical street corner singer. And I set it to music and told Raina, just go ahead on and do whatever you like, because not only did she love Uncle Bun Stevens, she loved Washington Phillips and the love that we share. And so she was perfect for that project as well. But we're all the way back to Loudon Wainwright, finally, which maybe we should have started with, because when he and I made the Charlie Poole project and put out on my label, that really got us going. Loudon is an artist, and a lot of people know about him. He's the flagship of our fleet, and the album just did very, very well.
And you got a Grammy for that.
We did get a Grammy for it, and it was a great start. And because of that, we got a little notice. I got distribution, and I got the label up and running. That's how it all happened. And from being just putting out my own music, it became something that I could offer other musicians. And I started doing that back around, about 2007, 2008, yeah.
Now, you also built a kind of a circle of musicians. I mean, you were working with the Roaches and working with Loudon and a little bit with Kate McGarrigle, right?
No, I never worked with Kate, and that's my loss. But yeah,
I had the pleasure of having her at the old studio, the church studio at WBAI, in this very time slot. On a Thursday night back in 1970, I guess it was 71, where she played piano and guitar and sang into the night. And Ed Haber tells me that that has actually been issued somewhere. Somebody captured that off the air, and apparently it's available. But it was a wonderful moment and a terrific evening with Kate McGarrigle, who was married for a good long time to Loudon Wainwright Jr.
Loudon Wainwright the third.
The third, rather.
Yeah.
The third.
And they had the 2 kids, Rufus and Martha. So when I met them all, and even though I never worked in the studio with Kate, we had a lot of conversations about music, and she would twist my arm and pat my head and tell me where I was wrong. And as another friend of mine said, she was one hip chick, and she never changed. It was a privilege to know her.
And now Rufus and Martha have been part of carrying on the Linda Thompson tradition as well.
Oh yes, they're old pals, and Rufus and Linda and Richard Thompson had kids too. And Teddy Thompson and Cammie, they're close to Rufus and Martha. And Linda Thompson's got a new record out, and she's not singing anymore. She's got dysphonia, but she had other people recording her songs, and one of them is Rufus Wainwright.
Mm-hmm. And we should say that Teddy Thompson produced this record, but he gives great credit to our friend Edward Haber, who's an important part of this folk radio consortium. So we want to give a little dap to Ed because what did she say about him?
Ably assisted by Edward
assisted
Haber.
by Edward
I think
Haber.
he did some strenuous heavy lifting that is rarely surpassed.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at this record, it was recorded all over both sides of the Atlantic with all sorts of singers and all sorts of musicians. There's a lot of organizational work. And Ed is the man for the job. Besides having a great ear, he's got a very precise mind, and he helped put the whole thing together.
And Linda says something on the inside jacket about Ed has kept the embers of my career aglow. Anyway, let's hear a little bit of what Rufus Wainwright does with Kate McGarrett with Linda Thompson's tune. This is "Darling,
This will never do.
I just bought a gold-plated kazoo. I've been so foolish since I met you. I knew your mother, your father too. Darling, this will never do. I thought my poor heart was on the blink. Now it's cartwheeling into the pink, and I'm doing that
Your mama's oversleeping and the kitty cats are creeping up the fire escape. Red light, green light, 1, 2, 3. You run as fast as you can, but you never catch me because you come round here on a crosstown bus with a band-aid on your knee. White bread, brown bread, jelly bean and butter, menthol cigarette butts in the gutter. Your purple parakeet, you're bumping to the beat while I'm cruising down the block on my banana seat. Sun's in my eyes, the bicycle's flying and I can't stop it. And I can feel my destiny pulling me into the future. And I know down deep in my bones I gotta go there all alone. So I'm saying goodbye to my invisible friends. I'll never see them again. Sunset Street, I'm dragging my feet. I'm sticking to the bubble gum and hot concrete. Well, you can fight the night with all your might. You never can win it. 'Cause it's a sweet Sunday, melted away. A sweet Sunday, melted away. Yeah. A sweet Sunday, none melted away. Yeah. Faster than a New York minute.
Who said I was on my own tonight? What made you think that I was on my own? 'Cause I'm not. I've got a man waiting for me. Ooh. You thought I was on my own tonight. Your words, not mine. You thought, but I'm not. He's got both hands about my body. Ooh.
They done ground it down in molasses. Captain, don't you do me like you done poor Shine. You drove that bully till he went stone blind. Ought to come on a river in 1910. They were driving on women like they drive on men. Or come on a river in 1904. You could find a dead man on every road. If I had a sentence like 99 years, all the dogs on the brazos wouldn't keep me here. There ain't no more cane on a brazos. They've done ground it down in molasses.
Folk Radio on WBAI FM 99.5 in New York City and WBAI.org. My name is Steve Rathe. My guest is Dick Connette, the composer, producer, and curator for StorySound Records. And we've been sharing a good bit of the music that he has produced over the last 25 years?
Gee, the first records came out in 2002, 2008, so we're going like 15 or 16,
15 years.
sweet 16,
Okay.
heading on there.
But you were working with Sonia from when?
Sonia and I began working around 1992. That's when we began working. But the album didn't come out until 97. We spent a long time working up material and performing and recording. And then finally we got a good break and got the album out.
Well, it was lovely to hear her. We also just heard, let's see, Darling, This Will Never Do, the Linda Thompson song, sung by Rufus Wainwright. New York Minute, Rochelle Garnier. Who Said, Margaret Glaspie. I'd like you to tell us a little more about her.
Sure.
And Chaim Tannenbaum, whose name will probably be familiar to you if you've heard the McGarrigles. You've probably heard him playing harmonica on a lot of their tracks, but it turns out that he's a multi-talented man, and Dick finally convinced him that he ought to make a record of his own.
Yeah, well, what happened was that actually when Loudon and I were working on the Charlie Poole project, Kate was in town, Kate McGarrigle was in town, some show at Joe's Pub, and I'm crossing the street, and Kate runs across the street and says, Dick, I didn't know you produce records. You got to produce Chaim Tannenbaum. You got to do that. And I thought, oh, no, I don't. But it turned out, oh, yes, I did. Just a beautiful singer, a beautiful writer. And he went way back in the Montreal folk scene since he was a teenager with Kate and Anna McGarrigle. And then when Loudon entered the scene, Chaim started playing with Loudon. And they've been singing buddies for years and years.
Tell us a little bit about Margaret Glaspie.
Margaret Glaspie, I met her. She was probably in her late teens. She spent one semester at Berkeley and Boston, and then her money ran out, so she moved to New York and supported herself babysitting and playing anywhere she could. And I heard her by accident somewhere. I didn't know what I was getting into. By the second song, I thought, oh my goodness, this young woman is talented. And I went up to her and said, can I buy a EP or a CD? I'd love to take it home. She said, I don't have one. And I said, well, come on over, we'll record it. You can sell them from your gigs. And her career just took off. She got signed by Dave Matthews' record label, ATO. And she's put out, I think, 3 albums there and done a lot of touring. It's just doing great. What a writer, what a player. I mean, you hear the way she integrates her lyrics and her melodies with her guitar playing. It's masterful, and it was that way from the very beginning. She really knew what she was doing.
Now, another artist that you brought to people's attention was Rochelle Garnier.
Well, she already had a head start before I ever put out a record by her, but I knew her back in the 80s. She's part of the downtown scene, and when she wasn't playing on the streets accordion for with spare change to throw in her hat, she'd be playing in bands at the rodeo bar and so on. And but also wrote her own songs, put together her own bands. We just knew each other for a long time, and she bounced around from label to label, but I always admired her, and I told her, whenever you're ready, you let me know, and I'd love to help you put out some records. And we've worked together on 2 or 3 occasions since then, and just beautiful piano player, you heard, and singer and writer. I'm a little bit awestruck, if not dumbstruck, when I'm around her. She's an astounding musician.
Well, it is a pleasure to hear that, and I appreciate your bringing these in and sharing them with us. You know, I feel like it's a whole like a treasure chest of music that you brought to the public, and it's very nice that you're able to do this. And it's a working record company, right? Well,
yeah, we work. We work. One of the best parts about it is that a lot of the musicians work with each other. You know, I introduce them to each other, and they get along oftentimes, I suppose, because there's some kind of shared sensibility. For example, on the last song we heard, Ain't No More Cane on the Brazos, that's Barbara Glaspie is singing backup on that, you know. And so a lot of times the musicians that are on my label also enjoy working with each other, and I enjoy working with them.
Well, speaking of the musicians on your label, let's hear a little more. What do we have here? We have Chaim Tannenbaum ready to stand by here. All right, let's do that.
I bid farewell to the state of old New York, my home away from home. In the state of New York I came of age, when first I started roaming. And the trees grow high in New York State, and they shine like gold in autumn. Never had the blues from whence I came, but in New York State I caught 'em. Talk to me of Mendocino, closing my eyes I hear the sea. Must I wait? Must I follow? Won't you say, come with me? And it's on to South Bend, Indiana, flat out on the western plain. Rise up over the Rockies, down on into California, out to where but the rocks remain. And let the sun set on the ocean, I will watch it from the shore. Let the sun rise over the redwoods, I'll rise with it till I rise no more. Talk to me of Mendocino. Closing my eyes, I hear the sea. Must I wait? Must I follow? Won't you say, come with me?
Old Charlie could drink you under the table. Old Charlie could sing all night long. Old Charlie had fun, but his rambling is done. And this is Old Charlie's last song. Old Charlie would fight once he hit a policeman. They throwed him in jail, 'cause that's wrong. And when he broke out, the cops took him on home. And old Charlie, he played them a song. Old Charlie could drink you under the table. Old Charlie could sing all night long. Old Charlie had fun, but his rambling is done. And this is Old Charlie's last song. Old Charlie made moonshine for the local bootleggers. Charlie, he had him a still. And the money he made paid for a good banjo. Can't make that wage down at the mill. Old Charlie could drink you under the table. Old Charlie could sing all night long. Old Charlie had fun, but his rambling is done. This is Old Charlie's last song. Charlie could never hold on to a dollar. He got famous, but he never got rich. And he never amounted to much of a husband. That banjo playing son of a bitch. Old Charlie could drink you under the table. Old Charlie could sing all night long. Old Charlie had fun, but his rambling is done. This is Old Charlie's last song. Old Charlie once said that he had a black heart, all except a small spot that was red. If he drinks anymore, that red spot will turn black, and old Charlie at last will be dead. Old Charlie could drink you under the table. Old Charlie could sing all night long. Old Charlie had fun, but his rambling is done. This was old Charlie's last song.
Remember the words or the parts that you saved, or carousel horses, or how the summer behaves, or off in the distance. Remember me too close. I can still hear you. From all of the people below and above, to all of the things we need to be careful of. From that was a near miss to where do I sign this? I can still hear you. Up and down now, I can still hear you. Between a few wild rides, surrounded on all sides, I can still hear you. I can still hear you.
Folk Radio on WBAI, and we're listening to music from StorySound Records. This time, We Lay Roses and, Talk to Me of Mendocino, which is a Kate McGarrigle song, and on this case, sung by Chaim Tannenbaum with backup by her former husband, Loudon Wainwright III. And then Loudon on a song. Now, you wrote this, Dick, with Loudon, right?
Loudon and I wrote it together.
Charlie's last song, Charlie Poole's last song.
Charlie's last song from High, Wide, and Handsome, that project. And that one, Loudon singing lead, and you can hear Chaim there in the back taking the high part. And they've been singing together for so long, and they sound beautiful together.
And then Suzy Roach and her daughter, Lucy Wainwright Roach.
That's right.
I Can Still Hear You. Beautiful, beautiful tune. And Dick Connette is the man who has brought this music to us, along with a great deal of other stuff that you can find at StorySound Records. And it's just such a pleasure here. It feels like we're immersed in just beautiful, beautiful sound. We're going to hear some more in just a moment. What's coming up here?
Well, we're leading into the last song we heard, I Can Still Hear You, was written during the pandemic. It was written by Lucy, and what she was saying is that even though we can't be in the same room together, I can still hear you. And the next group of songs many of them came out. A couple of them came out of the pandemic as well. And when the pandemic hit, besides trying to find out what I was going to do with my time, I tried to figure out how I could keep my artists working. And so we're going to hear what happened when we started hearing the next couple of songs.
All right, what's on tap here?
Well, this next song is called "This Time," and that was a song that I wrote with Anna Egge, and setting it up just when the pandemic hit. Everyone was isolated, and I among them, and it was hard not when all those awful things were happening, when George Floyd was murdered, and then you'd sit at home and watch the news and read about the marches, and I felt helpless, and I thought, well, what can I do? Well, I'm a songwriter. Maybe I can write a song and try to respond to this and put it out there. And I love Anna, and I love working with her. And so together we came up with this song. It's kind of a response to partly what the whole nation was going through at that time.
All right, and the next tune, "We Lay Roses."
That's by Anna Egge from her album Between Us, and that once again, this is part of my effort to keep my I can't call them my musicians, but the musicians I'm fortunate enough to work with, to keep them working. So even though Anna couldn't tour, with the proper precautions, she could still make a record. And so during the pandemic, she made this wonderful record called Between Us. And "We Lay Roses" is a song she wrote. It's a sad song. It's about her nephew who died. And during the pandemic, she had to drive in her car all the way to New Mexico. Couldn't stop at any motels or hotels. Hardly felt funny stopping at a gas station, afraid she'd get sick. And she wrote the song for her nephew and sang it at his funeral. And those are two of the projects that happened during the pandemic. We'll talk about the third perhaps later.
As soon as when we come out of it, that's going to be. This song's a little older than most of what's in our repertoire tonight. But let's hear "This Time."
All right.
When in the course of human events, a more perfect union makes most perfect sense. In the land of the free, oh say can you see, then we will have justice and peace. Something is happening here. We all know the old road's a dead end. Over and over is over, and again will be never again. So many good people been beaten, shot down, but a new revolution is coming. and say hello and goodbye, all wishing we could turn the hands of time and have you by our side. We lay roses for you one by one. Remember where we'd been and what we'd done with you in your life. We thought that you would shine on and on. The sky changes colors through the trees. Now this changes everything. Who's to say what slips away and what remains? In our hearts, you're always the same. We lay roses for you one by one. Remember where we'd been and what we'd done with you in your life. We thought that you would shine on and on.
Folk radio on WBAI, and music that's a little older than most of what we have. Tell us, this is Hildegard van Bingen.
Hildegard
yes?
von Bingen, that's interpreted by Daisy Press with an arrangement by the composer Nick Hallett. He's playing the Wurlitzer, and I don't know if we call it folk, but it is 12th century, and so it goes back a ways.
It's
for
had
sure.
a few folks making this music.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that how many modern composers are actually finding this music and making something new of it again.
Yeah, there's something very
Daisy
attractive.
Press
Yeah, about certainly for me, for music from the Middle Ages. There's a certain rigor to the composing. There's a certain it certainly isn't overwrought emotionally. There's a distance in that a lot of it is devotional.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pointed towards the other. And Daisy Press, it's one of the she's a great singer, and one of the things she does is interprets Hildegard von Bingen. And speaking of devotion, she is devoted.
How did you get connected with her?
What was it? I was working on Emily Dickinson project where I was writing songs with Emily Dickinson words, and I was looking around for inspiration, and so I was talking to an engineer friend of mine. I said, "You know anybody that knows about Hildegard von Bingen?" And he said, "Yes, I do. It's Daisy Press." And that's how I met Daisy. I went and saw her do a concert, and I just knocked out. And as with Margaret Glaspie, I said, "Do you have a record?" And she said, "No." And so once again, I said, "Well, if you ever want to record, I got a studio. I'd be glad to help you put it out." And that's how I met Daisy. And and since then, we're working on another record now, and she's sung with Suzy and Maggie Roach. I've worked with her on my own projects. So it's once again an example of different artists on the label interacting with each other.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of different artists on the label interacting with each other, we are putting a video on the WBAI website, which is the StorySound All-Stars interacting with each other.
Let's hope that
in a big way.
Yes, in a musical way.
In a big and musical way.
An occasional dance step too.
Yeah. So you might want to go there, WBAI.org. And you can also, I should say, hear this program again for the next 2 weeks. Look in the archives at WBAI.org. And you can hear it again next Tuesday. So our repeat is on Tuesday mornings now between 5 and 7 a.m. Some nice music to wake up to, I think. Tuesday mornings from 5 to 7, you can hear folk radio, or Thursday nights from 10 to midnight. And now, as Monty Python said, no, for something completely different.
got no time for the corner boys out on the street making all that noise, or the whores out on 8th Avenue. Tonight I wanna be with you. Tonight I'm gonna take that ride across the river to the Jersey side. Take my baby to the carnival, and I'll take her on all the rides. Down the shore, everything's alright. You and your baby on a Saturday night. Don't you know all my dreams come true when I'm walking down the street with you? Sing sha la 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 la. Sing sha la 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 la. Sha la la, sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la. You know she thrills me with all her charms when I'm wrapped up in my baby's arms. Little angel gives me everything. I know that someday she'll wear my ring. Don't bother me, man, I ain't got no time. I'm on my way to see that girl of mine. Nothing matters in this whole wide world when you're in love with a Jersey girl. I see you on the street and you look so tired. I know that job you got leaves you uninspired. When I come by to take you out to eat, you're all dressed up on the bed, baby, fast asleep. Go in the bathroom, put your makeup on. Take that little bride of yours and drop her at your mom. I know a place where the dancing's free. Hey, now, baby, won't you come with me? Down the shore, everything's alright. You and your baby on a Saturday night. Nothing matters in this whole wide world when you're in love with a Jersey girl. Sing sha la 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 la. Sing sha la 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 la. Sha la la, sha la 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 la. Sha la 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 la. With a Jersey girl. Sing sha la 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 la. Sing sha la 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 la. Sha la la, sha la 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 la. Sha la la la. Que viva Nueva Jersey.
Sweet silver angels over the sea, please come down flying low for me. One time I trusted a stranger 'cause I heard his sweet song. It was gently enticing me, though there was something wrong. When I turned, he was gone. Blinding me, his song remains reminding me he's a bandit and a heartbreaker. Oh, Jesus was a cross maker.
This is the last day of our acquaintance. I will meet you later in somebody's office. I'll talk, but you won't listen to me. I know what your answer will be. I know you don't love me anymore. You used to hold my hand when the plane took off. 2 years ago, that just seemed so much more. And I don't know what happened to our love. Days and days our friendship has been stale. And we will meet later to finalize the details. 2 years ago, that seed was planted. Since then, you have taken me for granted. This is the last day of our acquaintance. I will meet you later in somebody's office. I'll talk, but you won't listen to me. I know your answer already. This is the last day of our acquaintance. Oh, I will meet you later in somebody's office. Oh, I'll talk, but you won't listen to me. Oh, I know your answer already. Oh, I know your answer already. I know your answer already.
Well, that was a set. All right. Jersey Girl, Jesus Was a Crossmaker, and The Last Days of Our Acquaintance. Tell us about who we heard.
Well, Jersey Girl is a group. We heard Rochelle Garnier a little while back, and she is also in a group called the VKB Band. And what they do is they do their own versions of Tom Waits songs, and that was one of them. Also in the band is Amanda Homey, and at that time, Terry Rattigan. was a part of the. It's a trio with three women.
And what are they? VKB stands for?
Vicky Cristina Barcelona. But it's a mouthful, so VKB can sue it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jesus the Crossmaker, that's a Judy Sill song, but the producer behind the project is a man named Lorenzo Wolf. And it turns out Lorenzo was the son of two longtime friends of mine. Marta Renzi was a choreographer, and Daniel Wolf was a writer. And the young man, I've known him since he was just a handful, and now he's a handful, but a different way. And he grew up, got out of high school, became a musician, interned at our studio for a while. I started at a recording studio, and then went out and got his own recording studio, and just grew and grew as a musician. And at one point he said, you know, I got these Judy Sill covers, and Judy Sill was a singer-songwriter from the 70s who unfortunately died before their music could get out. But there's a new documentary about her, which is really well worth seeing. And Lorenzo was captivated by her music and made an EP interpreting her songs, and it's just so lovely. I heard it, and I said, "Let me put it out." And I said, "Maybe you could do better with a younger, hipper label." And he said, "Well, maybe it'd be more fun to do it with you." And so that was once again my pleasure to think that he would enjoy it, and we had a great time putting it out. And then what happened is that...
And that was Michael Cerveris singing.
Yes, that was Michael
the Broadway
Cerveris.
singer.
Yes, Sweeney Todd, he also does country music. And Lorenzo's got his own studio, and so a lot of people go through there. Michael Cerveris is one of them, and he would bring in different singers to interpret the songs. And then we finished with Last Day of Our Acquaintance, which is a Sinead O'Connor song, and it's being done by Anna Eggy. Should add, she's playing drums for the first time in her recorded history. But the other thing is that when I heard the Lorenzo Wolf Judy Sill record, I thought, Anna's got to hear this, because she's going to want to work with Lorenzo. And sure enough, Lorenzo Wolf produced her last two records, including what we just heard. This is called Sharing the Spirit. It's not quite out yet, but a few of the songs are out, and that's an example of one of them.
All right. Well, thank you, Dick Connette. Thanks for all that you have brought us. We're going to wrap things up here with a song that may be familiar to David Bowie fans, and then we'll come back for one more taste with Maggie Roach and the StorySound All Stars. So don't go away. This is Folk Radio on WBAI, listener-supported radio in New York, and WBAI.org.
Stay, and I stole her room. She asked for my love, and I gave her a dangerous mind. Now she's stupid in the street, and she can't socialize.
little girl, and I'll love her till the day she dies. Well, Jimmy's guitar sound, jealousy's a scream, waiting at the light. Know what I mean? Scary monster, a super creeps, keep me running, running scared. Scary monsters, a super creeps, keep me running, running scared. Scary monsters, super creeps, keep me running, running scared. Scary monsters.
Where do I come from? Asleep upon my load, hugging my freedom alongside the road. All I got is me. My hands are full of time, wanting to be free. Is that a crime? No one seems to hear the beating of my heart. Don't want you to come near. I'm torn apart.
Well, that's going to just about wrap it up for this edition of Folk Radio. My name is Steve Rathe. My guest has been Dick Connette. That was Maggie Roach. And before that, Rochelle Garnier's version of David Bowie's Scary Monsters. And we're going to finish up with the StorySound All-Stars. Give us about 15 seconds about this, Dick.
Yeah, well, during the pandemic, it's another one of those projects trying to keep people working. And singing on this song, we got Loudon Wainwright, even me, Suzy Roach, Lucy Roach, Anna Eggy, Lorenzo Wolf, Rochelle Garnier, Haim Tannenbaum. Also the other parts of VKB, Amanda Homey and Terry Radigan. And put it all together, and it's a song that came out of Elaine May's movie Ishtar, and it's called Dangerous Business.
All right, and find it on the WBAI website on the Folk Radio page. And thanks to everybody. Max, our steadfast engineer who's been tossing his CDs like pancakes. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, this next song is for a very lovely lady of the left. Telling the truth is dangerous business.
pray that we all get the jobs.
This is unbelievable.
I think they're wonderful.
Crying out loud gets you pointed and laughed at. Be like a baby, only babies should cry. Somebody tell me how that rumor got started. Some things I know, God only knows why. We can sing
our hearts out. And if we're lucky, then no neighbors complain.
Nobody knows where the beginning part starts out.
But being human, we can live with the pain.
Telling the truth is a dangerous business.
Honest and popular don't go hand in hand.
If you admit that you can play the accordion, no one will hire you in a rock and roll band.
Life is the way we audition for God. Let us pray.
Well, much as I hate to talk over the music there, now that I have a place to edit, I'm going to bring the music back up and give you a few announcements about folk radio upcoming next week. A rebroadcast. This is May the 2nd. We're talking about a rebroadcast of May Day tribute to workers, unions, and labor, presented by Peter K. Siegel, Eli Smith, and Richard Barr. And on Wednesday, May 1st, May Day, from 7 to 9 p.m., and again on Friday, May 3rd, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., there will be tributes to Pete Seeger, whose birthday was May 3rd. And that's it for folk radio. That's it, and then some for folk radio. Here on WBAI New York, 99.5 FM, streaming at WBAI.org.